Imagine a country so profound, it feels sacred when you first arrive. And yet, a year later, it's pulsating with an insane, vibrant energy. That's the Japan I've experienced, and today we are diving headfirst into its unveiled wonders. Welcome to Travel Dreams Diaries. I'm your host, Matteo, and this is where we turn those wild travel dreams into actual, unforgettable adventures. We are not just talking about trips, we are talking about experiences that reshape you, one incredible destination at a time. As the founder of Travel Dream, my passion is helping you create these epic life-changing journeys. And sometimes those journeys, well, they come with a few unexpected lessons and some truly wild stories. My first trip was in late spring 2023. Japan was slowly, cautiously reopening, and here's a quick hack I discovered: flying to Japan from another Asian hub. Many Asian airlines offer seriously cheap flights, making the inter-country hops incredibly easy on your wallet, especially if you pack light. And that first trip, oh man, it was something else. Iconic spots like Shibuya Crossing and the temples in Kyoto were way less crowded than I ever imagined. It honestly felt like I had a private, almost spiritual experience, wandering through ancient sites with a handful of other explorers. Eating at the local spots, you could genuinely feel the Japanese people navigating their new normal. I had so many more personal interaction, masked of course, and it was fantastic. Honestly, if you ever dream of seeing those iconic sites without the usual massive crowds, that post-reopening period was probably your best bet, even with a few lingering restrictions. But here's the unexpected twist. I quickly discovered that outside the major touristic zone, English wasn't nearly as common as I expected. I leaned heavily on a translation app, bridging that language gap from everything from ordering food to asking for direction. It was a challenge, absolutely, but also an incredible way to dive headfirst into the culture. This was especially true in the tiny villages where the language barrier became even more apparent. A powerful reminder that true cultural immersion often means stepping way outside your comfort zone. And talk about unexpected welcome? Well, my very first night in Kyoto, I was just settling into my place, and I distinctly remember feeling a light earthquake. It wasn't violent, more like this gentle sway that left me a little bit lightheaded, a subtle rumble, but enough to make me realize I wasn't just in a new country, but in a truly dynamic one. It added such a surreal layer to an already unique arrival. Despite the initial cost, getting around Japan, whether by train or local transport, was unbelievably efficient. The punctuality and seamless connection made every penny worth it, and letting me squeeze the absolutely most about my exploration time. And here's a huge tip. Always, and I mean always, have cash on hand in Japan. While big cities and larger stores usually take cards, so many smaller shops, local restaurants, temples, and even some public transport, especially outside the central Tokyo, are still very much cash only. You do not want to miss out on an awesome authentic experience just because you're caught without yen. So, exactly 1 year later, in spring 2024, I went back, and let me tell you the difference: night and day. Returning to the Shibuya crossing felt electric. The crowds were back, walking with that iconic synchronized flow you see in the movies. The entire country was absolutely buzzing with life. And now, a super crucial tip here. Basically, a fail to totally avoid, especially when you're navigating Japan's public transport, particularly in a massive city like Tokyo. You have to be incredibly careful with metro lines and travel cards. The system is huge, right? But different companies manage different lines. I learned that the hard way, that you absolutely and positively need to check your journey and which company runs your line before you buy a ticket. Look closely at the metro map in the station, pay attention to the different logos, and before you even think about buying any sort of travel pass, Take the time to truly understand exactly when you want to use the transport and precisely what is included. These passes are great, but can be pricey, and sometimes they don't even cover all the line of companies, meaning you might end up paying for an additional ticket on top of your travel card. Seriously, do your research here. It'll save you both money and a massive headache. To really maximize my time and budget, I also start using night buses. For instance, I took one from the Japanese countryside all the way to Tokyo. It's a different way to cover long distances overnight. Saves you a night on accommodation and you arrive ready to explore in the morning. It requires a bit of planning, but it's a travel hack I totally recommend for efficient travel. On these buses, you usually get a single seat with electric plugs for your phone and curtains for your privacy. It might not be as comfy as a proper bed, but it's a surprisingly nice and cozy solution. And speaking of efficient travel, I can't recommend enough taking at least one trip on the Shinkansen, the Japan's legendary bullet train. It's ridiculously fast, always on time, and honestly, you just feel like a local zipping around the country. And just remember, the Japanese are big on quiet and consideration on public transport. So, a snack or drink is fine, but please don't eat, drink, or chew loudly. Keep your voice down and ideally just avoid phone calls in the carriage. It's a sign of respect for everyone else around you. So, don't even think about overlooking hostels as a fantastic place to stay in Japan. Many people just picture dorms, right? But in Japan, you can often find hostels that are incredibly clean, super well designed, and actually offer private rooms, sometimes even with their own bathrooms. They hit that sweet spot of affordability and comfort, and they often have a much more social vibe than a traditional hotel. While hotels are great for organization and guaranteed breakfast, hostels give you the flexibility to bring and cook your own food. But honestly, the biggest perk is the chance to meet some incredibly people from all over the world, from hardcore backpackers to aspiring travel influencers. Look, I'm not saying hostels are better than hotels, but they definitely help you to save a few yen. Plus, Japan has some fantastic hotels that are super comfy and not expensive as you might think. And here's another travel dream insider tip for you. If you are dying to experience Japan iconic cherry blossoms, but you want to totally avoid the peak season crowds and crazy prices, think about going a little earlier than the main bloom. You might not see every tree in full bloom, but you'll definitely catch some early ones, enjoy significantly lower cost on flights and accommodation, and experience a much more serene atmosphere. It's a win-win. And finally, a massive takeaway, especially when it comes to Tokyo. The city is immense, guys. It's huge. Its crazy bustling city centers are alive with cosplayers and bustling bars. But just as easily, you can find super tranquil seaside towns or wander amongst manga characters, robots, and even a replica of the Statue of Liberty. Then there are the immersive spiritual mountain regions. There is so much to explore. And to truly make the most of your time and not feel completely overwhelmed, you absolutely need to plan your Tokyo itinerary in advance. Trust me, even a rough outline of your journey will help you see so much more. And seriously, prioritize the specific neighborhoods and experience that genuinely light up your travel trip. Otherwise, you just risk getting lost in its sheer vastness. Oh, and a quick heads up about visiting the biggest and most common tourist spots in Japan. They can be super crowded, and not just with international visitors. A huge chunk of the crowds actually comes from the local Japanese people who travel extensively within their own country. This is partly because Japanese folks love buying all sorts of small gifts or homage to bring back to their family, friends, and colleagues. So expect to see tons of street markets overflowing with souvenirs in these popular areas. It can be fun, but yeah, it also means planning for bigger crowds. To help you avoid racking too many expenses and fees, here are some quick financial and connectivity tips. If you are coming from Europe and want to seriously lower your flight cost, definitely look in a flight with one stop, ideally with 2-3 hours layover. For example, my experience, a direct flight from Milan to Tokyo might run around €1,000, but with a simple 3-hour stop in Shanghai, I paid just over €640 for their return. Oh wow! That can really slash those ticket prices without making your journey excessively long and leaving you more money for all those souvenirs. And seriously, as I said before, have cash on hand in Japan. For managing your spending and getting good exchange rate, consider a rechargeable travel card or a specialized debit card designed for international travel, as they often have lower transaction fee. And if you want to withdraw in Japan, maybe look for the ATMs that are normally inside of the supermarkets. To stay connected without those nightmare roaming charges, invest in an eSIM. If your phone supports it, of course, it's a total game changer for data and calls, letting you easily switch local plans. For me, a huge part of truly experiencing a new culture, is through its food. My personal preference is always to eat street food or actively seek out local, not touristy restaurants. This is where you find the full, authentic culinary experience. And honestly, sometimes these are the places where you uncover those truly hidden culinary gems you just won't find in any guidebooks. Don't be swayed by the appearance either. Some of the most incredibly tasty local dishes might not look the prettiest, but trust me, they can be absolutely delicious. And if you are lucky enough to know someone who lives in Japan, well, make sure to go with them to a local restaurant or bar. It's the ultimate way to truly live the Japanese life. There are so many different areas to explore. Check online for recommendation or just send me a DM. And speaking of hidden gems, one time, while we waiting for our entry slot to the Tokyo Tower, my travel buddies and I just stumbled upon this incredible restaurant inside of a nearby shopping mall. Not only they were cooking the food right in front of us, which was a fantastic show in itself, but the meal, a set menu with delicious lobster and melt-in-your-mouth Kobe beef. It was divine. It was also surprisingly affordable for the quality. With a bottle of wine, we paid each around €60, and it was exceptional that we went back for our last meal before flying back to Europe. Can you believe it? And here is another essential food tip. Supermarkets are the real deal in Japan. Whether it's a company like the famous 7-Eleven or Family Mart or Lawson or a supermarket, you always find an a really amazing array of fresh, high quality and surprisingly affordable food that will be even cheaper after 9 p.m. They are perfect for grabbing quick meals, snacks or drinks. A quick note on the checkout. A lot of Japanese supermarkets have self-service, but don't worry, if you are not familiar with them, you can always find someone super happy to assist you. One thing to be aware of, though, is that a lot of the food is single-packed, which unfortunately leads to a lot of waste. But on a more positive note, they are actively studying and developing new solutions, like biodegradable rice plastic, to try and fix that issue. So that's good. Perhaps the most important travel dream tip for Japan, a point that I seriously cannot stress enough, always respect the people and their tradition. Japan is a deeply respectful and spiritual culture, and the Japanese people genuinely accept tourists to give that respect back. This is absolutely crucial for having a positive experience there. Just a little bit of effort to understand and respect their custom, whether it's bowing, being quietly reverent in sacred places, following local etiquette, or just being mindful of your surroundings, goes such a long way in making your experience better. When you're visiting temples or sacred sites, remember to dress respectfully, avoid tank tops or super short pants. Modesty is a really clear sign of respect. Another subtle but significant part of the Japanese culture is their voice. Japanese people are generally not loud. When they talk, they are calm and relaxed, and the voice is typically not loud at all. The quiet demeanor is a sign of respect and is something you definitely notice and appreciate throughout your travel. It's actually pretty fun to observe how deeply ingrained their etiquette is. Most Japanese people are incredibly respectful and they bow all the time in all sorts of situations, as a greeting, an apology, or just a thank you. And after a few days, you actually find yourself naturally bowing back. It's wonderful. It's an almost subconscious way to start connect with the local custom. And to show you just how widespread this culture of respect is, I even found these funny details in the Tokyo metro. I don't remember which stop. There was a toilet sign that, by the way, the toilet in the metro were unbelievably clean, almost pristine. Anyway, I found a sign where there were two figures clearly depicted bowing. It was hilarious. And travel hack, speaking of Japanese public toilet, you usually won't find paper towels or hand dryers. Most Japanese people actually carry a small towel with them to dry their hands, so pack a small hand towel. And finally, on the topic of the culture, is a subtle but important point about Japanese humor. The Japanese people are often really funny and they totally enjoy making fun of themselves. You'll find funny posters, hilarious work, and it's great. However, they generally don't appreciate it when a non-Japanese person tries to do the same, especially if it involves mimicking or poking fun at their culture. It's a good reminder to always be mindful and respectful of cultural boundaries. Just observe and appreciate their humor. Speaking again of the Japanese people, you'll find them incredibly welcoming. In some hotel or hostels, you can even experience a kind of happy hour. You bring or buy some snacks and they'll offer complimentary drinks, including beer, wine, juice or water. It's a fantastic way to just unwind and socialize. And for a truly fun night out, you absolutely have to experience the local karaoke in Japan. It's such an iconic part of the culture, a fantastic way to just let loose and have a blast, wherever you are with friends or even brave enough to go solo. And I remember one of my trips, we went to karaoke with a bunch of new friends we met earlier in a local bar, and we ended up having a sort of vocal duel with another table. It was fantastic. And while you are exploring the cities, particularly Tokyo, keep your eyes peeled for those incredible hidden gems. You can often find a surprising bar, a super unique spot, or an unexpected experience just tucked away behind an anonymous door. Look up, and you can see a Godzilla on top of a building, a massive crab on the wall, or even the face of the owner welcoming you. It's like a treasure hunt. Piece of advice for anyone planning a trip to Japan. Be prepared to walk a lot, and I mean a lot. Whether you are exploring the sprawling city or the charming villages, you will be on your feet for miles. That's why the Japanese public baths, the onsen and sento, are truly a blessing in disguise. Perfect for relaxing those tired feet after a long day. The key thing to remember about this communal experience is that you must be completely naked, and of course, men and women are always separate. There are strict rules about washing thoroughly before you enter, so pay attention to the sign. And on the topic of public baths, it's also important to know the cultural sensitivities around tattoos. While awareness and acceptance of foreigners with tattoos are growing, you might sometimes still be refused entry to public baths if you have visible tattoos. It's always best to check the specific rules beforehand or look for a tattoo-friendly establishment. It might feel a little daunting at first, but it's a truly purifying and wonderful cultural ritual not to be missed. Just imagine, you spend all day walking around for miles and miles. Don't you want just spend time in a warm water, a relaxing environment where no one is talking loud? It's an incredible feeling. And here's a crucial daily life tip. Do not expect to find many rubbish bins around the city, especially the small ones. If you have rubbish, you often have to take it home or back to your accommodation to dispose of it properly. This is also a major reason why the streets are so incredibly clean. It beautifully demonstrates the Japanese value of collective responsibility and respect for shared space. It really works. Japan truly is a land of fascinating contradiction. On one hand, you'll find cities that are unbelievably technologically advanced, almost futuristic, with cutting-edge gadgets and seamless digital experience. And yet, right alongside that, you might find yourself in an area where actually the card machine doesn't exist and the cash is still the king. This can be a surprising contrast for visitors expecting a universal payment methods, and similarly, the approach of public behavior, like smoking, can vary widely. You will encounter impeccably clean, tidy areas where smoking outdoors is strictly prohibited except in very precise designated spots. This really helps keep this environment we all associated with Japanese cities. However, just a short distance away, particularly in some more relaxed or older districts, you might see people smoking directly on the streets and unfortunately leaving cigarette butts on the ground. This duality can be quite eye-opening, but what's truly magical is how these contrasts just coexist, especially in the urban landscape. You can walk in a city and see these gigantic glass buildings filled with people dressed smartly, rushing about their day, and then suddenly, right next to them, you'll encounter a serene temple, a sacred shrine, or a quiet prayer spot. And what's remarkable, it's that almost every single Japanese person will stop, even for just a second, to bow or to pray. Their primary religion is Shintoism, and this deep-seated respect for their tradition and spiritual practices is evident everywhere, creating a unique blend of ancient custom and a modern life. It's truly something to behold. Finally, a crucial tip for anyone visiting Japan: always be super vigilant to discover the thousands of incredible details everywhere. Look closely at the streets, the design of the houses, the intricate decorations inside of a temple, or even just a unique setup at the local bar. Japan is a country that thrives on meticulous detail, and truly immersing yourself means paying attention to these small, fascinating elements. And remember, if you ever feel lost, do not hesitate to pop into a tourist information center. They are incredibly helpful. I actually experienced this firsthand. We were in a super crowded area, totally lost, and had run out of data. So, what did we do? We popped into a tourist information center, and the people there didn't just give us direction. They actually walked us out of the building to make sure we took the right turn. It was an incredible service. So, where should you actually go to experience this incredible country? I highly recommend starting with Tokyo, the vibrant capital, for its futuristic energy and endless discoveries. And then definitely travel back in time to Kyoto, the former capital, to immerse yourself in a traditional culture and stunning temples. Fun fact, by the way, Tokyo and Kyoto are anagrams, and is a total coincidence. Cool, right? No trip to Japan would be complete without seeing the majestic Mount Fuji, even if it's just for a day trip to witness its iconic beauty. And to truly round out your experience, make sure to visit some of those picturesque seaside areas and serene countryside villages. Don't forget about Osaka, a city that never sleeps. It's where I had my personal experience sleeping in a futon on a tatami in a traditional Japanese house. There's so much to see. For a deeper dive into traditional Japan and unique cultural experience, I have a few more specific recommendations. If you are looking to experience a real Japanese thermal bath and open-air onsen in a stunning natural setting, consider a trip to Nikko. Not only does it boast incredible, ornate temples and shrines that are UNESCO World Heritage Sites, but its surrounding mountains offer some truly authentic and relaxing hot springs, the perfect way to unwind after exploring. Or, for something entirely different, imagine stepping into a fairy tale village, Shirakawago, another UNESCO site, famous for its unique Gasso Tsukuri farmhouse with their steeply peach-touched roof. It's like a picture postcard, and you can even find crystal clear canals running alongside the houses. teeming with vibrant koi carp. It's a truly serene and unforgettable glimpse into rural Japanese life. If you want a true 360-degree experience, I highly recommend organizing a trip into the Japanese countryside via local train. You might just encounter stunning, untouched landscapes and truly not touristy spots. And for the ultimate immersion, consider visiting a local village and really striving to live like a Japanese person for a day or two. Seriously, please do it because it's going to be incredible. Eat where they eat, observe their daily routine, and just soak in the authentic rhythms of life. Oh, don't forget to grab a drink from the iconic white vending machine you'll find everywhere in the streets. I remember one unforgettable evening with my travel companion in just such a village. We stumbled upon this small 8-chair Japanese BBQ place. We sat right in front of a grill with coals and the owner cooked our food right there. We ended up chatting with 3 Japanese friends who were also having dinner. One of them spoke basic English and the other 2 communicated only through gestures. Like a true Italian, so proud. It's a me, it's a Mario. Anyway, they even bought us a drink. But the real star was the owner, waiter, and chef himself. It was this big, muscular man. He had to walk like a crab sideways along the long single table, and every time he moved, he made these hilarious cartoon-like noises with his voice. It was so funny. Just imagine a big guy making anime noises. It was a riot. He even gave us a gift, a proper sake glass holder. It was such a unique and joyful experience that truly captured the spirit of local Japanese hospitality. We are actually still in contact with those 3 Japanese guys through Instagram. How cool is that? After 2 amazing trips exploring central Japan, I'm already dreaming of my next adventure. I'll definitely be going back to visit the north, specifically Hokkaido. I'm super keen to discover its more rugged nature and fantastic hiking spots, which promises yet another unique faces of this incredible country. And also the south, where time and tradition are very much still alive. But, everyone knows the true star of any Japanese trip. The toilet. Oh yes, the toilet. This simple yet complex machine where you can play music to cover your noise or just warm the seat. It's fantastic. I would seriously love to buy one. That's all for this episode of Travel Dreams Diaries. I truly hope my experiences in Japan have ignited a spark for your own adventures. And I want to hear from you. Have you had a wild travel experience in Japan or anywhere else that left you buzzing? Well, share your stories, photos, and questions with me on TikTok, I'm Travel Dream, or Instagram, Travel Dream by Matteo. Don't forget to use hashtag Travel Dreams Diaries so I can see and share your incredible journeys. Your next unforgettable journey starts now. Join me next time as we explore another incredible destination. And always remember, don't just dream it, experience it.